Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the full moon night, the month of Phalgun, in 1486, in Sri Mayapur Dham, the very heart of Navadvip, to bestow what no other incarnation had showered upon humanity. In this song by Sri Basu Ghosh, one of the very direct, personal, and intimate associates of Lord Chaitanya, he is not only revealing his own heart, but through doing so, is giving exemplary instructions by which, if we follow in his footsteps, we will also discover the greatest of all treasures. He begins with such a profound expression of gratitude. He's not saying, "Thank you, Lord Chaitanya, for all you've done." Beyond that, he's saying, if Lord Gauranga had not appeared as the Yuga avatar in the age of Kali, then what would have become of us? In other words, 100% of all of our hope, of all of our qualifications, of all that is meaningful and valuable in life, is by the mercy of the Lord, without which we are nothing with no one. How could we have even tolerated living? Who in this universe would have ever learned about the love of Sri Radha, the topmost expression of all spiritual perfection? Nimai, or Lord Gauranga, his heart was forever in giving everything. And all he asked in return was our willingness to accept. Yesterday, our Shyamananda Prabhu gave a beautiful discourse. He cited the incident on a boat in the Ganges when a scholar named Raghunath told Nimai that he had written a book on the Nyaya philosophy. And Lord Chaitanya said that he had also written a book on the Nyaya philosophy. It was the only book he had written. And when Raghunath heard this, he understood he started to look very, very despondent. He didn't say anything. And Lord Gauranga's heart felt for him. He said, why are you appearing to be so sad? Raghunath said, if you wrote a book on Naya, who will ever want to read my book? Everyone will read your book. So Nimai, although it was the only book he ever wrote, and he put so much effort into it, he took the book, the only copy, and threw it in the Ganga. His own. Now let everyone read yours. This is one tiny fraction of a drop of the ocean of the character of Lord Chaitanya's kindness. Lord Gauranga loved to sacrifice for the welfare of others. And he specially loved any devotee who was willing to make sacrifices for the welfare of others. It is that unselfish, compassionate, sacrificial heart that more than anything attracts Lord Chaitanya's love. Lord Chaitanya loved to serve. He did not love authority. He loved service. He was the supreme absolute truth, the controller of all the controllers, the king of all kings, who had the ultimate authority forever. In the Bible, God said, "Let there be light," and the sun came. Just by his words, "Let there be," and everything was being created. We read in the Vedic literatures, Karonodakshai Vishnu, by his authority, he just exhales and all the cosmic manifestation with all the universes are created, and he inhales and everything is destroyed. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita with the ultimate authority of the highest truth. But then after doing so, he served Arjuna by taking the role of his charioteer. Arjuna said, "Go here," Krishna went there. "Go there," and Krishna would go there, just assisting his devotee. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he's the Almighty God, he would take the greatest pleasure in washing the clothes of his devotees. If he saw his devotee carrying a heavy load, he would carry it for them and take it to their home. In Jagannath Puri, as he was serving Jagannath and the Vaishnavas by cleaning the Gundicha Mandir, as he was cleaning with a broom, all the 300 or 400 devotees collected all their dust in one pile. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put all his dust in one pile, and it was far bigger than 400 others. He was so enthusiastic to sweep. Sweeping is not a very prestigious type of service by social estimation. It's the most menial thing, a bhangi. But Lord Chaitanya, how he swept with such love, with such enthusiasm. And when he was washing the temple, the devotees were taking thousands and thousands of pots of water to wash, and Lord Chaitanya was washing, but he didn't need pots of water. he was so grateful with love for cleaning the Lord's temple for all the devotees. The tears were pouring from his eyes that he was washing the temple with. The Lord loves service. Authority is something you do, but you don't love, if you happen to have it. And Krishna happens to have all of it. That we should recognize. Krishna has all authority. We can temporarily accept some on his behalf, but it's not ours. King Prataparudra was such a powerful monarch with great authority over over military, taxing the citizens, wealth. But Lord Chaitanya did not appreciate that. However, when he saw King Prataparudra sweeping the street, the Lord appreciated that so much. Reciprocating, he later on embraced King Prataparudra and bathed him with his tears. Not because of his authority of being king, but because of that sacrificial heart to love and appreciate doing the service of a sweeper. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us Trinadapi Sunichena Taror Ibasihishnuna Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari. And he personally, and every single one of his associates, from the king Prataparudra to the greatest Brahmin Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, to the great Mahavishnu Avatara Dvaitacharya, to the banana leaf seller Kolavetra Sridhar, to the man who took birth in an untouchable caste, Haridas Thakur, to the greatest scholars and Brahmins in all of creation, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, to the ultimate renunciate that ever lived, Raghunath Das Goswami. Some possessed great knowledge, some great wealth, some great strength and fame, some the greatest renunciation. But there was one thing all of these associates had in common. They followed Lord Chaitanya's footsteps. They were more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant, forgiving than a tree, ready to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this verse and in this example, is revealing the heart of Srimati Radharani. Radha Bhavaduti Subalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Lord Chaitanya is Krishna, who has come to taste the infinite ecstasy of Sri Radha's love. Now, we must carefully meditate on what this means. Srimati Radharani is the medium between every living being and Krishna. Srimati Radharani's personal love for Krishna is infinite, all-encompassing, and is the complete whole of all love forever. Whatever love exists anywhere in anyone's heart, its origin is in Radha's heart, in fullness. Therefore, her love for Krishna, when Krishna sees it and how it is demonstrated and manifested, even he becomes amazed. How to amaze Krishna. That is the special role of Krishna's Ladidi Shakti, his pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. When she sees a tamal tree, the color of the bark of the tree reminds her of Krishna's complexion. And she becomes so mad, she embraces the tree and starts talking to Krishna in the tree. When she hears Krishna's flute, her whole, she practically merges her body, her mind, her everything into the air in which is carrying the sound of the flute. And when Krishna sees, one time Krishna was in Dwarka, no, not in Dwarka, he was in Vrindavan, and he happened to see a reflection of his own body in a jeweled pillar. And when he saw it, he himself became bewildered seeing his own beauty. It was so absolutely all attractive that Krishna himself became attracted. And then he was thinking, what is it that Radharani sees when she sees my form? What is the nature of her love? What is the pleasure that she experiences when she tastes my love? It was the one thing that Krishna did not know. Of course, Radha knew, and Radha is Krishna. So in that sense, Krishna knew. But for the sake of Leela, he didn't know. So he decided, I will come to the world in the form of Lord Chaitanya to taste the sweetness of Radha's love. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. That Lord Krishna and Sri Radha, the one absolute truth who are eternally in two forms, have become one again as Lord Chaitanya. So we can talk forever about Radha's love for Krishna. Krishna's Madan Mohan. He can conquer even the greatest conqueror of all the worlds, Cupid or Kamadev. But Sri Radhika is Madan Mohan Mohini because her love conquers Krishna forever. And it's interesting because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born not only on the solar eclipse, where all the provinces were loudly chanting the holy names, but he was also born on the day of Holi, the festival of love in Vrindavan. It is an eternal festival. It is the battle of Bhava. Never has there been such a battle like this before in this world. Where Krishna and Gopas form one army, and Radharani and gopis form another. And they have their weapons and their artillery. And the idea is to conquer the other side with their love. They had syringes with colored water that they would squirt on each other. And they had colored powders made out of very nice natural flowers from the Kalpabriksha trees of Sri Braj Bhumi. And these colors were so bright, so attractive. And they had flowers and sweets. And they were fighting in so many ways. They were trying to conquer each other with their glances, with the sweetness of their words, by giving each other sweets, by giving each other garlands and flowers, by sprinkling each other with water, and by spraying each other with colored waters and throwing colored dyes in each other's heads and all over their clothes. Not in a way to get it in their eyes and make them miserable, but which is the perverted reflection of modern days India's Holi in most cases. But it's to give pleasure. The whole idea of sprinkling powder or spraying somebody is the water's fragrant and it's bright and it's the expressed manifestation of your intent to please the other and give them happiness. It's the medium of love. And Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the Gopas and the Gopis, at this time of the year, they would perform this Holi. That was beautiful. It was a battle of love, of sweetness, of gentleness. And Radha and Gopis would always win. Because love conquers the beloved. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada explains, even today in Vrindavan, people are more fond of chanting Radha's name than Krishna's. Wherever you go, even written on the trees and the walls, everything, people will greet Jai Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe. I remember one Brijabasi told me in 1971, the reason we like Krishna is because Radharani likes him. If he's good enough for Radharani, he's good enough for us. Such a mood. And Srila Prabhupada explained that Radha's love for Krishna is so deep and so unlimited that Krishna cannot refuse Radha. If Srimati Radharani tells Krishna that please accept this devotee, he's better than me, then Krishna must accept. She is the medium between every living being and Krishna. Sri Radharani has supreme love for Krishna on one side, but she also has supreme love for all living beings. She is the mother of every living entity. And we see how a good mother in this world is so caring and so forgiving and so affectionate toward her children. I've seen in some families, many, where the father becomes very angry with the child. And the mother kind of secretly goes to the child and says, you know, just be patient. I'll secretly give you prasad. Your father may reject you, but I can never reject you. It's not possible. A mother's love is very, very soft, very gentle, very deep. Srimati Radharani, she has boundless love for every living being. So this is Lord Chaitanya. In the Gambhira, we find he was in the mood of Sri Radharani in separation from Krishna, crying out Krishna's name day and night. No one has ever seen such spiritual ecstasies. In the same mood as Srimati Radharani, in her highest love and separation, after Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, when Uddhava came to give a message. The spiritual transformations of Lord Chaitanya's body were the highest manifestations of love that the world had ever seen. He was in the mood of Srimati Radharani and her love for Krishna. He would see a mountain and remember Govardhan Hill and go into ecstasy running after it. He would see the ocean and think of the Yamuna and her pastimes with Krishna and Yamuna and jump in the ocean. He would see Jagannath, and suddenly Jagannath would have a threefold bending form playing the flute, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into so many states. Yes, he exhibited Radha's love for Krishna. And at the same time, Lord Chaitanya infinitely exhibited Radha's love, her kindness, her mercy for all humanity. There are some poets who have written that Srimati Radharani, she stands on the left side of Krishna. And her Sakis, who in one sense represent all humanity, all living beings, are on her other side. And she's looking at Krishna, and at the same time, she's looking at her associates with that love. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radha, with inconceivable, infinite love for you, for me, for every living being, wanted to sacrifice his heart and his life to bring us to Krishna, to experience the same ecstasy that she is experiencing. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught He taught the world by his love and his mercy. Sometimes he was in the mood of Krishna, when he would sit on the Singhasan at the house of Srivas. He was manifesting benedictions to all of his devotees as Krishna. And at other times, he would fall at people's feet and cry and beg them to chant the holy names in the mood of Sri Radha. Lord Chaitanya taught this path of bhakti. How we could see hope and shelter even in the ordinary things of this world. Yukta Vairagya. Sri Rupa Goswami extracted this from Lord Chaitanya's life and teachings, this very sacred teaching. That complete renunciation is not renouncing something, but it is in using it for the pleasure of Krishna. There are some philosophies and some schools of thought that teach, rightly so, attachment to anything or anyone is the cause of suffering. Dukalayam ashashvatam. Because everything within this manifested creation is temporary. Everyone's bodies and everything. If you have a loving relationship with someone, that love is going to become pain. Because either they'll betray you, or you'll get tired of each other, or somebody's going to die. Or you're going to suffer. And everything in this world, no matter what we get, we always want more and more and more and more, and it's all going to be taken away from you. Whether it's property, or whether it's position, fame, skill. We work so hard to get skills, to get wealth, to get fame, to get relationships. But it's all going to be taken away. So therefore, there are very, very prominent schools of philosophy who say the solution to all suffering is total detachment from everything. But Lord Chaitanya said no. The path of bhakti is attachment to Krishna and using all these things and cultivating love for Krishna in our relationships and cultivating love of Krishna by utilizing things in his service. We know the story of Kamadev. Kamadev is really a ruling deity of this world. In the West, we call him Cupid. That means he charms people with material things. Sometimes the opposite sex, sometimes the same sex. Sometimes for money, for position, for health, just enticing you irresistibly. Now, when Kamadev himself takes special interest in you, it's a very, very difficult situation. And we read about how Lord Shiva, he was performing tapasya in meditation. And the Devas needed Shiva to save them from a great calamity that was upon them. So they tried to get Lord Shiva to come out of his meditation and help. But Shankar, Bhagavan, was totally oblivious to everything and everyone around him. He was in samadhi meditation. So they finally came to the last resort and called upon Kamadev. And told Kamadev to use all of his full powers to create such an enticing, irresistible, pleasurable environment that Shiva would have to be attracted and come out of his meditation. So he created these trees with the fragrant flowers and singing birds and had beautiful ladies all around him singing and dancing and ankle bells tickling and what we cannot even imagine, what even in the heavenly planets is unimaginable, he created. When Shiva was sitting in meditation, he couldn't care less about this. He was meditating on Krishna. And finally, Kamadev got so angry that all of his efforts were useless. He took the most powerful of all of his arrows and put it on his bow, that famous bow, pulled it back as far as he could and released it. And it hit Lord Shiva. It wasn't an arrow of steel, it was an arrow of flowers, a flower arrow, but billions of times more powerful than steel arrows. These steel arrows might be able to kill the body, but Cupid's flower arrows, they totally consume your mind, your body, and take you away from Krishna totally. What to speak of meditation? So when that arrow hit Lord Shiva, he opened his eyes and he saw all the beautiful stuff all around him. Couldn't care less. Then he saw Cupid standing there with the bow. And Lord Shiva became very angry. His third eye opened. Kamadev was instantly burned to ashes. Shankar Bhagavan ki jai.